Hello, chemistry students. I just wanted to give a quick little overview of how to do these conversions between the temperatures. Even though some of you already did this worksheet, it's simply plugging in of formulas. So first of all, if you're converting from, this is the easiest one right here. If you're converting from Celsius to Kelvin, this is super simple. Because the degree increments are the same between the two scales, if you want to find Kelvin from a Celsius temperature, you just take the Celsius temperature plus 273.15 to get it converted to Kelvin. Or if you have Kelvin and you want to convert it to Celsius, you're going to just take the Kelvin degree minus 273.15. Remember that 0 Celsius is the freezing point of water, and 273, and it's actually 273.15, is the freezing point on that Kelvin scale. But we can drop the 0.15. It's not important, so if you just use whole numbers, that's totally fine. The more difficult part here is converting between Fahrenheit and Celsius, because the freezing point in Fahrenheit is 32 degrees. So if we want to find Celsius from a Fahrenheit degree, you have to do a couple of things. First of all, you'll notice you're going to take the Fahrenheit degree minus 32, but then the degree increments are also different sizes. So 1 degree increment in Fahrenheit is not, it's actually like 1.8 of 1.8 Fahrenheit degrees for each Celsius degree. So you also have to multiply it by 5 divided by 9, which you could convert to a decimal if you wanted to. But if you're keeping this not in a decimal, then parentheses. So it's going to be the 5/9 in parentheses times Fahrenheit degree minus 32, also in parentheses. So you have this, this number multiplied by this number. So if I have a problem like this where I have 25 degrees Fahrenheit and I want to know how many degrees Celsius that is, I'm just going to plug this 25 right in here. So I'm using this equation. I'm looking for Celsius. I'm just going to take my 5/9 times my whatever 25 minus 32 is. And when I calculated this, I just used my phone calculator, I got negative 3.8. And then I have to think, so negative 3.8 Celsius. Does that seem reasonable? Well, remember that 32 degrees is right at 0, and anything below 32 degrees Fahrenheit is actually below freezing. And if freezing on the Celsius scale is 0, yeah, it makes sense that this would be below 0 on the Celsius scale because it's below that point of freezing. So again, we just plug that in, and always just analyze, like, does that seem obvious, or does that seem like it's in the ballpark at all? So make sure that you are doing that, always analyzing that answer. Then if I'm given the Celsius temperature and I want to find Fahrenheit, I'm using the other equation, and again I just plug in this 120 degrees Celsius plugged into the formula. If you use 9/5, I just use 1.8 because it's the same thing, just convert it to a number instead of that fraction. If you use the 9/5, you really need to put another set of parentheses around here to know that that is treated separate. So I would do parenthesis 9/5 parenthesis times 120 parenthesis, and then add 32 at the end, just so you know. But I ended up with 248 degrees Fahrenheit, and I want to make sure that that seems reasonable. Is that the appropriate number? So 120 degrees Celsius. Remember, 100 degrees Celsius is boiling, so this is above that boiling point. and 212 is boiling in Fahrenheit. So yeah, that seems like it's probably about right. So that's just a quick overview of those temperature conversions. So hopefully that is easy for you to complete those.